Hello everybody. Today I want to talk about my hiking shoes. I've been hiking for many years now and I ended up with these hiking shoes that I use like 90% of the time. And so I like to do a series about these hiking shoes, and I'm going to do that according to the schedule that Mindel made about categories, and today is going to be about category A shoes, which is for very light walking and everyday use. And this episode is going to be about the Palladiums. And this is the Palladium Baggy. It's about 90 euros, so probably $95 I think, if the prices are the same. And they're made of canvas. Now the outside canvas is made of 14 ounce canvas, and the liners on the inside are 6 ounce canvas. And they also have a sole on the inside that you can remove, which is very decent, got a lot of cushioning and some shape to it, to the foot, so that it's quite comfortable. And then you just have the sole. The sole is made of rubber and has a decent coarse profile. The sole is not too thick, it's actually relatively thin, but that makes it very flexible. I mean, it has almost no resistance whatsoever, and the whole shoe of course is very flexible, so there's no torsion resistant at all. So these just feel like everyday slippers almost, and that's basically what it is. So they are only meant for very light hiking and maybe everyday use. And of course, because they're made of canvas, they're not waterproof at all. I use these for summer hiking, especially warm weather, and sometimes even for everyday use. So you can use a spray to get them waterproofed a little bit, and that helps. But you can't go anywhere near water with these under normal circumstances. Now, Palladium does make these waterproof versions now, or at least water repellent, and they have them in leather, and I think they are waterproof. So you can check that out, but they are very, very, very comfortable, and we're going to see how they perform on the outside. Now, I also have a second pair. I bought these actually to walk on the tidal flats because I go on an excursion every year with my students, and I have to have shoes to go on the tidal flats. And of course that is very salt water and clay, and there are shells all around. So they get a lot of punishment, and after I think 3 or 4 years now, they're still pretty good. The canvas is a little bit stiff. I think that is due to the salt water, but they're still holding up pretty good. So I think the quality is there. So category A, I use these, and let's go outside and see how they do. Okay, let's have a closer look at the shoes. So these are the canvas baggy, I believe they were called. They weigh about 370 grams each, and that is pretty lightweight, considering that a decent booth with the BC category will weigh in around 800 to 1,000 gram each. So you saw me walking on these boots on several surfaces, and I must say the grip on these with these rubber soles is pretty good. This sole has seen some wear and tear, and you can see that it is thinning out here a little bit already. So I think I still got one season of hiking with it left. These are now, I believe, 2 years old, so the soles wear down relatively quickly, but the canvas takes a beating far faster than the soles does. So after 2 years, you can see some mistakes or wear. You can see here that the fabric is coming apart a little bit right at the point where your foot flexes, and this border that actually gives a little bit more protection is pulling on the fabric. So I think that is why that is coming undone. And what else? Here on the side as well, almost at the same place. Again, where the foot flexes, you can see a bit of tearing. I hope that is clear. On the other shoe as well, around those places, but also here where you pull on the laces, there is some tearing, and here on the side is also a bit of a damage. This came undone. I tried to glue it, but it didn't really stick very well. But I mean, that is after 2 years of intensive use, and I actually did some heavy trail hiking on Corsica. I did parts of the GR20 and there. Not that I did the real heavy parts, but it was rocky and it was quite a hike. So having said that, you can do some heavy tracks with this, but you will feel it. Every stone, every when I was walking on the basalt, on the Wimstone, I could actually feel everything in that. And that will, after a few days, really start to hurt your feet, I think. So that you really don't want to do. On the other hand, in tropical weather or in warm weather, this breathes fantastic. It's nice and smooth. It's very flexible. So these are like sneakers with a little bit more robustness, if I can call it like that. Now, these specific ones, they can be undone. And as you can see, the holes where you put the laces through are almost to the top, and then you have your snapper there, so you can close it up a little bit. Now the tongue of the shoe is actually not attached to the fabric. It starts to be attached from this point on. So from here on, you can't open it any further. This is a bit quick, so any dirt that comes in here will eventually get into your shoe. Now, of course, that is, if you lace them up, that is not really an issue. But just so you know, so that's a completely loose tongue of the shoe. That's also made of canvas, really comfortable. All in all, a really comfortable shoe. The soles are nice and flexible. I think good quality, good grip. Only on the wet surface of the wood. On the what do you call that? Is it a jetty or something? I don't know. But it was kind of slippery on the wood that was wet. The rocks, no problem. So that is that. Let's have a look at the pros and cons that I found over the use of the last few years. Let's start with the pros. For sort of outdoor boots, hiking boots, they are pretty comfortable. They really fit instantly. You don't have to break them in because, you know, the canvas is so flexible and the sole is very flexible, so it doesn't take any time to break them in. They're also very lightweight. Like I said, these are 370 grams each, which really feels like a lightweight sneaker. It's not that heavy, and that is very comfortable if you're walking for longer periods of time. I also found the rubber sole to be pretty good, pretty comfortable, very grippy. When you buy them, they are water repellent, so that's a good thing. So a little bit of rain doesn't really hurt it much, although they're never meant for hiking in wet weather. But they are somewhat water repellent, and you can use a spray to keep them somewhat waterproof-y, kind of. And of course they are very breathable. I mean, these boots are very comfortable in warm weather, especially if you start hiking and you get warm feet. I mean, this breathes like, you know, like it's almost an open shoe. So that really is the reason why I like these canvas shoes a lot. And even if they do get wet, they dry relatively quick because it is canvas. It's not like leather that really has to dry really slow. You can dry this a lot quicker, and it will still be a smooth shoe. So what are the cons? Well, they are around 90 euros or $95, something like that. And for a canvas shoe, that might be a bit expensive. I don't know, I think it's relatively worth it for what you get. Of course, another downside is that it's not waterproof. So if you are walking in something like a swampy area or something like that, you will get wet feet. I mean, they're just not built for that kind of hiking. And they don't offer you any support in terms of if you carry a backpack, let's say 15 kilos, and you will put some extra strain on your ankles, and especially in these shoes, I mean, they will not offer you any support, and since everything on the surface will be felt in your feet, I think you will struggle after a few days, because, you know, it will fatigue your ankles and your feet pretty fast. But that's not what they are made for. So, I mean, it is a downside, but on the other hand, it's not what they're made for. So light trekking with a light backpack, you know, a few kilos, I think it's okay. But don't do anything heavier than that with it. Although it is possible to hike something more challenging for a day or so. I mean, if you are well trained and you have some practice hiking and stuff, you can get away with a lot, especially with these. And so another downside is then that they are actually only for warm weather and dry weather, so that limits kind of like the use. But that is why they are my summer hiking shoes, and in the A category, because they're nice, lightweight, nice and comfortable, and they're easy to pack. So I can stuff this in my backpack somewhere. I bind them together like this, and I stuff them at the bottom of the backpack, and I just bring them with me for light hikes and stuff like that on a beautiful sunny day. And that is quite comfortable to have with you. And then I can bring heavier shoes that I will get to in another video, because this was about A category. Now, you don't have to buy Palladiums by all means, but I do advise you to check out canvas shoes. I hope it helped, and if you have any questions, put them in the comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you next time. Bye bye.